percentage for the broadcast to load. It doesn't look right. Okay, nah, I was just looking at it funny. Okay, good enough. All right, we are back. Back for another round. Bit later in the day this time, but was necessary. Couldn't quite make the noonish time slot because I got work, but still want to keep the schedule going. So here we are, back at it. Back on my spinny wheel thing. That was fun. Also not staying for 2 days. All right. As I recall, last time I finished setting up military science. There it is, populating my labs, working on upgrading. Oh look, just finished the science for weapon shooting speed. Good stuff. All right, I do believe I'm building a bunch of medium poles. And all right, I've hit a point where I've got a checklist of things I need to do. It's an expanding list, which is okay with me. I do believe I did, in fact, yeah, I added more coal production to power, which is doing fine. It's not, so far, the extra mines haven't taxed the system too much. But then again, it's probably because I'm not taxing it too much. I haven't put so much on it that it would feel taxed. So, but I will have to keep an eye on that. I'm gonna have to expand power pretty soon, especially with the next leg of stuff we're gonna be dealing with, which is probably going to be oil. Speaking of which, I'm gonna need to pick a place to start. This is a little oil thingy right over here, which is not great. Oh, wait, I already did. Okay. Oh, okay. I cannot think about it. I don't actually recall. Oh, right. I think I was gonna expand. Figure out a perimeter defense. Because I really don't need to have all these walls and walls of turrets up in just random sparse little circles, because leads too many exposed areas, too many blind spots. And of course let's see. I should expand the radar coverage. That bad boy's gonna get, yeah. They're far enough away to where any major expansions won't be too big of a deal. So I'm thinking probably avoid. Oh man, it's an iron patch right there. Beachfront property. Okay. That's why I don't like That's why I don't like playing with cliffs. They're nothing but a nuisance. Unfortunately for me, I am a ways away from getting my hands on. That's what I'm looking for. I'm a ways away from getting my hands on cliff explosives to remove those cliffs. Because unfortunately, that is like on a whole other planet. Bit annoying, I know, but what can you do? I can at least start with part of the perimeter defense. Probably like around this here, the west side of the base. Because it's already freed up anyway, and I don't see a lot of stuff going this direction anyway. Although that is going to get away the bus, but then again, I'm not. It's not like the bus is going to be particularly long anyway. I only really have it set up for 4 sciences anyway. Which, hilariously enough, should I? Sorry, bit of a thought trail there. I'm considering I might want to consider getting a certain shooting for a achievement with this saving, which is getting to a planet. We're getting to one of the other planets without researching yellow or purple science, which is definitely doable, but I'm not 100% certain that's the direction I want to go. It's just a thought, honestly. Okay, that's doing all right. Tricky thing is, border wall is going to require not a steady supply, but it's going to need a supply of things like ammo and the like. So I'm probably going to have to take that into account when I'm setting this wall up here. Make sure it's got a decent amount of ammo. I don't really know what the situation is beyond this black area here. What with all the biters? Who knows how many biter nests? For all I know, they're going to be an entire wall of biters beyond this point. Not that it's going to make much of a difference either way, but is there a big old hole? There is a big old hole. Nothing to worry about. Okay. Not a big deal. So let's see. Not going to shoot for any particularly elaborate designs here. Just a straight wall. Alright, now for the defenses. It's got some decent range, so I'm gonna want to put at least one of these right here. There you go. And then I guess a question of how much space do I want? About 3 turrets worth of space. Yeah, it should be good. Not the most brilliant form of defense, but if it works, right? Besides, it's only a temporary one. As soon as it's time to expand and get myself a proper perimeter defense, then I'm just gonna tear this thing right down. So And a less than overly complicated defense should do just fine. I'm less concerned about turret coverage and more concerned about ammo supply. Power is not going to be an issue because I've got plenty of it back in the back of the base, and I can just use big power poles to bust over power. So no, that's going to be an issue. Trouble is these things need a regular supply of ammo, which obviously how much ammo they need is going to be dependent on how frequent the attacks are, which I can never say. Currently, despite my pollution output, no bugs are getting polluted, so I don't really have anything to worry about at the moment. And this one's gonna be a bit on the long side, I think. There's me and my classic inability to draw in a straight line. Don't know what it is. Just haven't been able to do it. And of course, who needs perfect symmetrical walls? Yeah, bit ugly, but once again, as long as it works. How are we gonna do this? Let's see, do I have it like set up like this? And then enough space. Perfect. All right. Like I said, bit on the lengthy side, but it should work. I wonder if I can just... I can. That makes this lots easier, a lot simpler. How much space does that leave me? Right up to about there. Oh, nah. Off center. How though? Whoops. Why is there a duplicate box? That's weird. Don't know how that happened, but everything seems to line up at least. All one can really hope for is that the wall doesn't that any attacks on this particular wall are infrequent. Of course, one would hope attacks in general would be infrequent, but you know, there's some things you just can't plan for, no matter how hard you try. They get this set up, and then of course, next thing on the list is gonna be getting the actual ammo over, because right now this is just a wall. A wall of guns. A wall of guns with no ammo. It's like some sort of metaphor. What that metaphor is, I have no idea. Alright. That, need to put boxes down. I'm gonna have to come back with arms later. Call them arms. Not even called that. Call it inserters. I like to call them arms though. Not really. In my head, I don't really call it. I think I call them grabbers in my head. Actually, I don't really call them anything in my head. They're just there. They're the things that do the things. The game calls them inserters, so I'm like, okay, I guess I'll call them inserters. I guess. But in my mind, don't even think about it. Don't even use the name. They're the grabby things. All right. Ammo and arms. That's what we need. Hopefully, in this time, we produced a decent amount of armor-piercing rounds back at base. Or should I use basic ammo? We're not quite at big biters just yet, but they might become a big concern. Yeah, I think I should just commit to using armor-piercing rounds for this from the perimeter wall. With only a handful of staggered turrets, then even if it's literally just one big biter, that could do quite a bit of damage without armor-piercing rounds. So definitely gonna have to take care of it. Gonna have to go in that direction. I'm gonna put some of these walls away because they're taking up half my inventory. Okay, there you go. I need arms. There you go. And then I need ammo. If anyone thought that was some weird noise just occurred, I will just simply say that was probably me yawning. Not because I'm bored. Just a little tired is all. Was a busy day at work. Had hardly any time to just stop and take a breather. It was just kind of like a non-stop go for a good portion of the day. Not that I'm complaining. I do appreciate a busy day. Alright, so I don't have a ton of ammo. So we're gonna have to figure out ammo distribution. Probably some basic, probably not much, not a whole lot. We only got so much. So. Should have brought the bigger poles. Well, should have been setting down big poles while I was on my way here. What can you do? Let's see. Okay, and let's see, get this gun down. I don't know how much better this would be with substations, but gotta make do with what you got. Part of the reasons I'm a little hesitant about trying to do the getting to another planet and then researching its science pack before even getting to purple and yellow science is both purple and yellow science are really good for getting to things like logistics spots and stuff, construction logistics spots, which just take care of a whole lot of tedium in this game. And so, while you can still get access to both of those without yellow and purple science, they won't be nearly as good, specifically yellow science. Purple science I can manage without, because even though that does unlock some really good production stuff, I think I can manage just fine. Although Vulcanus might be a bit tricky, what with elevated rails being locked behind purple science. But okay. Everyone gets at least a stack of ammo to start off. Not much in the grand scheme of things, but and I don't think I have enough. I don't have enough ammo stacks for this entire wall. And as a matter of fact, this isn't the entire wall. This is only part of the entire. This is only part of the entire wall. There's still the other wall. Gotta worry about. Oh boy. It's one particular part of the game I've never been overly fond with. It's very time consuming, very tedious, but it's gotta be done because you don't want to get eaten by bugs. I'm doing this all wrong, aren't I? Oh man. I'm gonna have to fix all my inserters. See, what I was supposed to be doing is setting it so that the inserters take from the box and put from the box and into the guns. But I think I've been putting it backwards. They're gonna be taking it. Yeah, I have been. They're supposed to be taking out of the box and into the guns, not the other way around. That just would not have worked at all. That was pretty silly of me. I'm not sure why it took me so long to notice that. I don't think I'm that sleep deprived. I mean, how aware can one really be of their own sleep deprivation? Like, let's be real here. All right, there you go. Well, I got this one correct. Don't know why I messed up on the other ones. Okay. All right. Minor hiccup, easily solved. Still got a perimeter defense to set up. it's gonna be these long walks. But I haven't unlocked. I have unlocked the car. I just haven't used it. I mean, it's not as if I'm covering a whole lot of distance anyway, so. Besides, I'm a terrible driver. I crash into everything. Alright, gotta make sure you get the other stuff, like power. I guess we're also gonna find out if I brought myself enough armor piercing rounds with me. I seriously doubt it. It's not as if I was keeping count of how many little gun turret these little turret pairs. It's not as if I was counting. Hey, that is a nasty habit of mine. Kind of just doing stuff, not bothering to really, consider things like, ratios and such. It often bites me in the butt. Alright. Gonna bring power over and make sure all the guns have all the guns actually have ammo, instead of the ammo just sitting in a box, waiting for an insert that won't move because it's got no power. There you go. And of course I need to get me more ammo, because as expected, I didn't bring enough. Alright. One last trip back. Then we can worry about something else. Alright. Let's go home. Now the big question is, what's the next thing we're going to worry about? Because I guess can't really move much further until we get our hands on, what's the word I'm looking for? Probably going to have to push towards getting things like oil sorted out, because we need blue science to really get this thing going, and the only way to get my hands on that is chemicals. So I got the engine. I can make engines. It's not really going to do me much good. Although I could, now that I'm thinking about it, could at the very least start making the engines. Because I could turn those into things like, car, trains. Definitely want to invest, push towards trains. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I need, let's see, more than this guy. I need something else. Which oil patch am I going to shoot for, actually? Oh yeah, wait. Yeah, the low and powerful. It's crude oil 616. This one's got more. Of course, that is gonna draw the ire of the bugs up here, so I better make sure I got a defensive line over there. Not gonna tear it on the defensive line just yet, especially when I only just got a wall up, and it's only on the one side. So progress is being made, but don't want to jump the gun anywhere. Well, if I'm gonna get oil, I'm gonna need pump jacks. So I guess let's make some pump jacks. I need at least 4 of these, so. Okay, there you go. Gears. I probably should consider automating certain intermediates like gears. Should be a bunch of those. All right, now I just need the green circuits. All right, 4 pump jacks should be good. We can start pumping out that oil field. I suppose while they're crafting, I'll head over to the area and then get a layout going. I apologize to anybody if any of the yawning sounds a little obnoxious over the mic. Try to fight it, but you can only do so much. Let's see. Okay. Actually, I am curious now how much pollution do these things kick out compared to normal? Let's see. Pollution is 10. Alright, so it's about the same as your standard electric mining drills, so that makes sense. There you go. Let's see, did I? Yes, I did. Now, we can start siphoning this off, but what we need to do is process it. Which requires refineries. And I need quite a few of those refineries. Alright, I need to set up my defenses. A defensive perimeter. So one thing bugs don't like is like your big polluters. So typically when they get attacked, they go after the ones that's saying the biggest pollution. Although sometimes they just go over things. I know sometimes it feels like they just kind of just attack some random target that happened to be in their way. Maybe it was the sheer virtue of the sheer fact of it just being in the way, but I don't really know how the AI works for the bugs, so. Alright. Should be good to go. Might as well start pumping. Yeesh. Look at all those holes. Why is it in this weird jumbled mess? I don't recall doing it like this. What in the world? Yeah, it's not a big deal. It's just I'm just baffled is all. Okay. What refiners does that get me? 10. Alright, got any more? What am I short on? Plates. I'm short on plates. Okay, better get more plates then. So I'm going at least a minimum of 20. If anyone's wondering why 20, just it'll make sense in a bit. Just bear with me. And another 10. Alright, that's 20. That's your minimum. It's gonna have to wait for that to craft though. And I need a lot of pipes. I had to backtrack because it occurred to me that, well, it didn't just occur to me. It's something I'm well aware of, but something I just don't think about as often as I should. Is that for proper for oil processing, it's gonna need a lot of pipes, undergrounds especially. And well, might as well start planning out the oil refinery, the oil refining area, which I'm probably just gonna paste down right underneath the oil field because that's where I need it. Well, actually, what would be a good place for this? This question is only just now occurring to me. It's gonna need to be processed somewhere. Hopefully somewhere within easy enough reach. And now I'm thinking, okay. This might be a bit trickier than I anticipated. Not a big deal, but big enough. I'll just set it underneath the oil field so I know where it is. Big challenge, however, is going to be busting it around because it's going to need to go It's going to need to go certain places and highwares. Hopefully the fluid storage will help. I imagine with only 4 oil pumps, oil's going to be a little slow, but it should be fine. As it is, the main thing I'm gonna need right now is pipes. So that's gonna take a bit. Might as well empty out my inventory while I'm waiting. I do have not a lot of pipes, but I do have some pipes I can use to get started. I'm sure some veterans are already aware of what's happening, but I'll explain. These refineries are going to be refining the crude oil that I'm collecting from those pump jacks and turn them into petroleum. Petroleum oil, which is a primary ingredient in a lot of stuff. But it needs to be refined first. So I have this set up here. And what you might realize, if you've played this game before, or I don't really know how this thoughts going, but I'm sure some people would be pointing out that I'm setting this up for advanced fuel processing, and there's a reason for that, because I'm setting it up for advanced fuel processing. And for those who are still confused, that's basically just a process, a down the road process. That's actually unlocked with chemical science, I believe. But for now, I can refine crude oil into petroleum oil, which is what I need at the moment. It's the primary ingredient in things like, well, it's used in sulfur and things like that. I need it for solid fuel. Whoops, I blocked myself in. essentially what this design is gonna be for. I only have basic oil refining, which is like this recipe right here, basic oil processing from crude oil to petroleum gas. It's very basic and doesn't require this specific setup to work, but this specific setup does work really well for advanced processing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it up like this just to start off, and then I already have it set up ready to go, so it'll just be as simple as changing the recipe to advanced oil processing. Of course, I'll have to take into account all the other oils and their uses. That's what I thought. But yeah, the transition from basic oil processing to advanced oil processing is not a huge deal. Can be a little annoying and rather tedious. There you go. This is also one example of something that is mostly just a lot of tedium. Makes Can't wait for when I actually get my hands on some bots who can do just a lot of this placing down pipes like this. Alright. Unfortunately, I had to hit a bit of a grind here. Well, can grind into a bit of a halt, so in fact I don't have any undergrounds. Adventures in handcrafting, people. Might as well get this set up while we're at it. Alright, power's there. No recipe though. Gotta set the recipe. Gotta make sure it's all going into, and gotta make sure it's all flowing into the same pipe. Now all it needs is oil. Of course, I better make sure it has somewhere to go. So, once again, gotta go run back, grab some things, go run back again. Me and my poor planning at work. I feel like every single time I leave and come back, this thing, another mine is run out. It's mildly concerning, to be frank. I'm definitely gonna have to grab these two, but I need I need trains when I get there. I mean, I have that research, so I could build trains if I wanted to. I mean, I kind of don't, but you kind of have to. It probably is a tad unnecessary to be making a ton of this stuff on here at the moment, especially with how it kind of holds my inventory hostage for a while. But and honestly, this would be a lot better if I just automated it. So I should probably do that. Doesn't hurt to plan it out. Alright. I'm gonna pull directly from here. Right. Still gotta wait on those undergrounds. But we'll be doing alright. Alright. Okay, so got ourselves an oil setup. Waiting for a couple of pipes to put it together properly, but we need to wait on that. Big question is next step here. Because clearly our setup, while functional, can only will only get us so far. I mean, it's able to do military science for 3 science packs relatively well, so I'm not too concerned about like small things. But honestly, I probably should just set up the rest of this, so I have it all available and ready to go. I think that's for sulfur. Yeah. That's that little line right there. Is there's a sulfur line. And since I'm probably not doing purple science, at least not for a bit, then I don't want. Then getting a train network is probably going to have to be done, not manually, but somewhat manually. Of course, that does beg the question: do I have a? Okay, there's a stone patch right over there. I think while I'm waiting for those pipes to craft, I'll set up that just for the stone. That's what I need, stone. Need belts. I need the stone because it's a necessary ingredient in things like why is only part of it? No, it doesn't matter. I need stones for the train tracks, and if I'm gonna start pushing towards train tracks, then I'm gonna need them. Because those ones, while I could belt these two iron mines all over, that'd be way too much of a hassle. So, just gonna get myself a little train and get the train set up, and start bringing stuff over. More specifically, I think with just one, two. I'm not entirely sure where this thought's going. I'm thinking a little too far ahead. Let's just deal with what we got what we got now. I came here to get belts, I believe. That is a tiny stone patch. I didn't bring a splitter. Oh well. Alright. Get that there, and I just need to plug it in. Now, as soon as I can, I'm going to turn, well, I say as soon as I can, when it becomes necessary, that's probably a better way to put it. But when it does become necessary, I'm going to want to use this stone primarily for, like, train tracks and the like. Normally, you would use it for purple science because one of the ingredients in purple science is train tracks, so. But that doesn't look like the direction I'm going, at least not for the moment. But I'm still gonna need the train tracks, so just let that stone mine turn away for a bit to get me some stone, and when I'm in need of the tracks, I'll go over, grab them, put them together. It's looking like it might be a little soon. It might be pretty soon as far as having to bus over more of the one of these over. Because soon enough, I'm not gonna be getting iron from my starter patch because we're down to 20k. That's dropping pretty quick, honestly. But once again, it was the starter patch, and it served me well. So good on it, I guess. But with that, I must confess, I am a little out of it today. Don't have a ton of energy. I have a list. I have a lot of things I'm definitely gonna want to be doing. I definitely have a goal to shoot for. A lot of it held off just by, I think, my own weird decision making. But it's not a big deal. Point is, I'm tired, and I don't think my brain's quite working 100% right now. So I think I'm gonna call it here. It's only been an hour, which is definitely not standard. But then again, it is late, and I had a day, so it is what it is. Hey, a little bit of progress is better than no progress, right? But schedule remains. I will be back on Tuesday. Once again, still considering looking into doing things on Mondays and Fridays, but for now, it's doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm mulling over options for other games that I might do outside of Factorio. But right now, we're just going to be continuing on with Factorio. Factorio Space Age to be exact. We're still on Novice. We're going to be on Novice for a while, but hopefully things will get interesting. Things will continue to get, it will be more interesting. We'll continue to make progress. We've already made quite a bit of progress since I've started, and honestly, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty good about the amount of progress I've made, even if it's not been particularly quick. It has been fun nonetheless. But with that, I will bid you adieu. Hope everyone will take care of themselves. Everyone will stay safe, and hope everybody will return. I say to my non-existent viewer count, it's not a big deal. Either way, see you in the next one. Bye bye now.